just asking questions, trying to get people to think. So I'm just going to start. What's an Egyptian pyramid doing on a U.S. dollar bill or a Federal Reserve note? Why have 56 countries signed a treaty to not venture into Antarctica? Why do planes never fly over Antarctica? How is it that the moon is a perfect place and position to cover the sun perfectly during an eclipse instead of too small or too big or to one side? It's always perfect. Perfect size, perfect shape, perfect everything. How did NASA lose the moon landing footage? Arguably one of the most advanced agencies in the world, they say, and one of the most important moments of its time for mankind, they say, but mysteriously they lost the footage to this thing that's never been done before from any country ever. They mysteriously lost the footage, but they're so competent and such a good advanced agency. How did that happen? So who is NASA really, and what are they really doing, and who are they really benefiting? So another question on that NASA moon thing. If Neil Armstrong was first on the moon, who held the camera to get the footage? Just asking questions. Why do artificial NASA images show images of the Earth with different sized and grossly disproportionate continents year to year? So if you look through year over year over year, different years, decades, the continents are different sizes, different proportions, that kind of stuff. Just asking the question, why? So now, another question, if apes evolved into people, why are there still apes? And not just one type, there's many, many forms of apes. So are there ones that weren't lucky enough to do the evolve, and other ones were lucky enough to do the evolve, or those ones were unfortunate enough that they had to evolve out of their species, their kind, of an ape into a human? So they tell us. How is it there's 95% junk DNA? Who decided? Who decided it's actually junk DNA? That's what they say. How are there giant, symmetrical, detailed, sacred, geometrical sound structures like cathedrals and parliament buildings created by people who lived in wooden shacks, rode horse-drawn carts, and did not have any machinery or lasers? But supposedly they did all this advanced architecture and all this stuff based on sound and vibration and magnetism, that kind of stuff. So why is the same Peruvian architecture found all over the world? And that's no. Why are there spaceships depicted on ancient Egyptian art? Walls, the Egyptian art in different forms. Why do we have to pay to live on a planet we're born on? We're the only creatures. We're the only creature of all the creatures that has to pay to live on this planet, has to pay to survive. That does not sound like anything I signed up for and anyone else signed up for. So why is that? How is that? Why are there images of mushrooms all over ancient Christian art? Just a question. Why do popes dress like giant Mercurial mushrooms at times? How is it cheaper to buy fast food made from rearing, feeding, and housing a cow than to buy natural food and fruit and vegetables? Why do ancient Egyptian artworks depict pine cones? And it is a coincidence that a pineal gland also looks like a pine cone. Why is that? Just a question. Why are there giant flat-top mountains in the world consistent to the geometry of giant petrified trees? Just a question. Why is there so overtly demonic symbols in music and entertainment industry, i.e. Disney? Think Disney. Think children's books. Think children's things. Why is there so much satanic kind of, whether it's stories, whether it's visualization, it's icons, it's symbols. There's plenty of it. It's not front and center. Nowadays, more so it is, but it's never been front and center. Why do pilots not have to adjust the nose of a plane to account for the curvature of the Earth, they say? Why are our names on official documents written in black block capitals the same way they are on tombstones or corporations? How is it that movies and cartoons like The Simpsons are able to securely, accurately, and precisely predict specific cultural events? Sounds like predictive programming to me. I mean, it's all over. There's many things from maybe 20, 30, 40 years. Oh, you look back at it, it's like, well, that's what's going on now, or that's what happened 10 years ago. It's all predictive programming. It's to get a message there to the population, to get them, once that happens, whether it's 10 years, 20 years, 40 years later, it's like, well, I saw something like that, so I'm familiar with that. So it's not as big of a shock to me because I'm familiar with it now. Because even though it was Hollywood or some form of propaganda, but it wasn't presented as propaganda, but now I know of it. I mean, I'm comfortable with that enough because I've seen it before. Why is poisoning ourselves regularly with alcohol considered normal? And it's called just drinking. It's just, and you see it on commercials, you see it on TV, you see everyone doing it like it's the norm. Also, on that same note, same with drinking tap water. If you live in the city or you're at a restaurant or whatever, they're all on city water. You are drinking poison because you're drinking that fluoride, chlorine, everything else they pump into it. That makes it a poison form of liquid, a poison water. But that's the norm. That's normal. That's what you should do because it's healthy for you. So they say it's healthier than the sodas that are out there, which have, or the beer that's out there, or the whatever alcohol thing that's out there that has already the fluoride liquid in it on top of the alcohol, or on top of the sugar, on top of the caffeine liquid beverage that you are ingesting, a Monster or whatever, those kind of sports drinks or those kind of caffeine drinks, that kind of stuff. But that's considered normal. But anyone who says, no, I want to get out of that, I want to drill my own well or be somewhere else where I'm self-sufficient and I don't have all the chemical and all the poison in the liquids I'm drinking, or I'm showering. I did a whole video on this before. That seems weird because it's not the norm. You got to ask these questions. It used to be the norm years and years and decades ago. Now it's not accepted as much anymore. That makes you weird. If you can even do it, if it's even allowed. I mean, like California, you can't even collect rainwater or grow plants in pots in your front yard, or plants in your front yard in different areas. How do news anchors, I say that lightly, news, quote unquote, news anchors, or teleprompter readers that are supposedly portraying the news or reading you the news, which is just propaganda and lies.
The sharing of biased and
false news has become all too common on social media.
More alarming, some media outlets publish things.
It's just propaganda and lies. It's my opinion, but why do news anchors all over the world and on different channels say and repeat the same exact script verbatim day after day or week after week, and sometimes over and over the same thing to get embedded and get pounded into people's systems? How is that? It's almost like they got a script they're reading from, sent from one location, one source. They're all reading the same thing because they have to fall in line. If we are more advanced than we've ever been, more knowledgeable, why do we have the highest rates of obesity, cancer, and heart issues? Not to mention depression and all these autoimmune diseases that they say that. They say we can't diagnose it by tests, but you need a clinical diagnosis because you have to get an opinion of a doctor or someone in a butcher coat, a white butcher coat. They call them doctors. And they have to tell you this is what you have, so now you have to take these pharma drugs, this medication, these tests, this XYZ. You need to do that because this guy in a butcher coat or this lady in a butcher coat that you call a doctor and you respect their opinion said you have to fall in line, you have to do these things, or you're not going to survive. But if you really get down and look to it, I have found, and do your own digging and your own research, that the most damage that is done to society and humanity is from the doctors, pharma doctors, period. Look it up. Has the dumbing down of society been fully complete?
If you have one bucket that holds 2 gallons and another bucket that holds 5 gallons, how many buckets do you have?
2?
Thank you.
Or will that depend on how many have and will perish?
For the last time, I'm pretty sure what's killing the crops is this Brondo stuff.
But Brondo's got what plants crave. It's got electrolytes.
So wait a minute. What you're saying is that you want us to put water on the crops.
Yes.
Water. Like out the toilet?
Well, I mean, it doesn't have to be out of the toilet, but yeah, that's the idea.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
Okay, look. The plants aren't growing, so I'm pretty sure that the Brondo's not working. Now, I'm no botanist, but I do know that if you put water on plants, they grow.
Well, I've never seen no plants grow out of no toilet.
Hey, that's good. You sure you ain't the smartest guy in the world?
Yeah.
Okay, look, you want to solve this problem, I want to get my pardon, so why don't we just try it, okay? And not worry about what plants crave.
Brondo's got what plants crave.
Yeah, it's got electrolytes.
What are electrolytes? Do you even know?
It's what they use to make Brondo.
And will perish. Just got a question. Just asking a question. So, I just got to finish with this. Some people accept the answers they've been fed. I feel the true answers surface when we all begin asking better questions and searching and striving to find the real answers and the real solutions to the real problems, not just the surface problems that they're trying to get us to accept and fight against this person, fight against this, where these people are bad, these people are good, let's just all fall in line. No, absolutely not. It's like the song that a band wrote years ago. It goes back to when you're a child and you had to be in elementary school. You lined up, single file line with your backs against the wall or your side against the wall. You line up against the wall in a single file line. Boy, girl, or one boy line, one girl line, whatever. It's single file. And then you always must burn the books to save a mind. Burn the books to save a mind. That's crazy, but that's what we've become. That's what we're going. That's what we're going for more and more every day. If you look back 20 years ago, 10 years, heck, 5 years ago, look at how corrupt and overtaken our society has begun and our thoughts, and they've taken everything out that really matters and replaced it with all this crap that doesn't matter. So again, that's my opinion only, just my opinion. I just got led to ask these questions when I was thinking about this kind of stuff, and I just want you to think about them and start doing your own digging. I mean, if you find something that strikes a chord, post something, say something, spread the word, start asking questions yourself to everybody, tell everyone to ask questions. But anyways, I want to thank you for watching, and as always, if you like this, like, share, subscribe, all that kind of stuff, and stay vigilant, protect yourself, your family, your health, and protect your world.